Om Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vigno Pashantaye. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinabhadhi Tamastu Mavet Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Agajanana Patmarkam Gajanana Maharnisham Anekadantam Bhaktanam Ekadantam Upasmahe Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha Gurave Sarvalokanam Vishaje Bhavaroginam Nidaye Sarva Vidyanam Shri Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Asmad Gurucharanaravindabyam Namaha Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Jnananandamayam Devam Nirmalaspatikakritam Adharam Sarva Vidyanam Shri Hayagrivam Upasmahe Shri Hayagriva Namaha Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Shri Mahasaraswatyai Namaha Uma Komala Hastabja Sambhavitalatakam Hiranyakundalam Vande Kumaram Pushkarasrajam Vetrivel Muruganak Har Haro Hara Lokaviryam Mahapujyam Sarvarakshakaram Vibhum Parvati Hridayanandam Shastaram Pranamamyaham Swami Sharanamayappa Vagartapiva Sampraktau Vagarta Pratipattahe Jagadah Pitaro Vande Parvati Parameshwarau Shri Parvati Parameshwarabhyam Namaha Komalam Pujayan Venum Shyamaloyam Kumarakah Veda Vedyam Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Asmad Guru Charanaravindabyam Namaha Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare Shri Natha Narayana Vasudeva Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare Shri Natha Narayana Vasudeva Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare Shri Natha Narayana Vasudeva Pitambaram Karavirajita Chakrashanka Kaumodaki Sarasijam Karuna Samudram Radha Sahayam Atisundara Mandahasam Vatalahesham Anisham Hridibhavayami Krishno Rakshatumam Charachara Guruhum Krishnam Namasye Sadham Krishne Neva Surakshito Hamasakritim Krishnaya Dattam Manaha Krishna Deva Samudbhavo Mama Vibho Krishnasya Dasosmyaham Krishne Bhakti Rachancalastu Bhagavan He Krishna Tubhyam Namaha Shri Guru Vayurappa Sharanam Namranam Sanhidatte Satatamapi Purastairanabhyartitanapi Artan Kamana Jasram Vitaradi Paramananda Sandram Ghatincha Ittam Nisheshalabhyo Niravadika Phalaha Parijato Hare Tvam Shudram Tam Shakravati Drumamabilashati Vyartamarte Prajohyam Shri Guru Vayurappa Sharanam Shri Bhattapadam Anisham Hridibhavayami Vamshi Vibhushita Karat Navaniradabat Pitambharat Arunabhimba Phaladharoshtat Purnendu Sundaramukat Aravindanetrat Krishnat Param Kimapi Tattvamaham Najane Kairindum Kupinyan Vindhumi Rakunnu Niraja Lochana Ninodai Etinu Manyane Kumpidenda Toru Ritiyil Nihenne Palikkennai Krishna Hare Jaya Krishna Hare Jaya Krishna Hare Jaya Krishna Hare. Hello everyone. We'll directly get going with 59 and 60. Just see. Okay, Satya, can you and Uma first start off? So 59. This is just two liners, so it's short ones. Just close the 1 second. Okay. Tvad vapur nava kalaya komalam, comma, prema dohanam ashesha. If you want to break it, dohanam ashesha mohanam. Brahma tattva parachin mudhatmakam, comma, vikshya sammumuhur. If you want to break it, you can say it as sammumuhur anvaham, or say it together, sammumuhur anvaham striyaha. How did I forgot the tune?
Twadvapurnavakala.
Yeah, sorry, thanks. Yeah. Twadvapurnavakalaya komalam premadhohanamashesha mohanam brahma tattva parachinmudhatmakam vikshya sammumuhuranvaham striyaha. Satya, you can start.
Rajesh, last word is striyaha.
Yes, striyaha, referring to the gopikas, the females.
Oh,
so
striyaha, okay. Twadvapu navakalaya komalam prema dohanamashesha mohanam brahma tattva parachinmudatmakam viksha sammumuhur anvaham striyaha. Striyaha, right?
yeah, striyaha.
Twadvapurnavakalaya komalam prema dohanamashesha mohanam brahma tattva parachinmudatmakam vikshya sammumuhuranvaham striyaha.
Twadvapurnavakalaya komalam prema dohanamashesha mohanam brahma tattva parachinmudatmakam vikshya sammumuhuranvaham striyaha. Twadvapurnavakalaya komalam prema dohanamashesha mohanam brahma tattva parachinmudatmakam vikshya sammumuhuranvaham striyaha.
Now we were just talking yesterday, Rajesh and I, ungloda and the Pullangu song, I record pani it was really beautiful that day, the way you sang.
I'll talk about what there's something that's going to come here related to that. So I was going to mention that. Yeah. Oh, you're listening to Uma's voice and you're telling what? Manmathon matita. So it's manmata unmatita, but you say it together. Manmathon matita manasaha is there. So put the ich sound. Manasah kramat. So the double half tas, right? So just pick one. Kramat, comma. The next half ta. Tvad bilokana ratas tatas tataha. Gopikas tava na sehire hare, comma. Kana nopa gatim. That you say it together. Kana nopa gatim apya har mukhe. If you want to break it at that ma, you can break it at gatim apya har mukhe. So in the stanza is, I know like today morning, I was just talking in the other class about Uddhava when he comes, 76th chapter, right? Uddhava is coming and then he sees the devotion of Gopikas. So here it is saying just all of this is the Gopikas, how they're attached to Krishna. So here it says that even when Krishna used to go for it every day in the morning to go to the forest, even that the Gopikas were not able to bear the departure of Krishna. And then they were, like missing him every time so much. And then in the booklet, in the Narada Bhakti Sutra, Narada is also talking about the devotion of Gopikas. And then he says, the only reason is the Gopikas knew that somehow intrinsically they knew that this is the divinity. Because otherwise, because at this age, Krishna is 7 years old, right? 7 or 8 years old. So if at this age, if they're so attached to him, the only way is they really knew he was a divine person, because otherwise he says it will become like as if they were a mistress to him, which is not right at this age. So that's what Narada also says in his Bhakti Sutra, that they knew that this is a divinity who's actually taken birth in this form, and so they were really missing his presence, right? Every time he even went for a date. So, Manmaton Matitamanasah Kramat Twadvilokanaratastatastatah Gopika Stavanase Hire Hare Kananopagatimapyaharmukhe.
Rajesh, one question. Is it Twadva or Tadvi? Because the Twadvi nu sonna madri irundhudu neenga enga bookla Tadvi nu.
Illa Twadva, it's a double half ta only there. Twad, yours. Yeah, Twadvilokana, to see you. So it's half. Tad becomes that, because this is Twa only makes sense here. So just change Twa and that I think makes sense meaning wise also. So
எங்கள்துல துவத்து தான் இருக்கு ராஜேஷ்.
அதான் Twadvilokana, to see you, that's what it means there. So
Manmaton matitamanasa kramat Twadvilokana ratastatah Gopika savanase hire hare Kanopagatim apyaharmukhe. Manmaton matitamanasah kramat Twadvilokanaratastataha Gopika savanase hire hare Kananopagatim apyaharmukhe.
Manmathon matitamanasah kramat Twadvilokanaratastataha Gopika stavanase hire hare Kananopagatimapyaharmukhe. Manmathon matitamanasah kramat Twadvilokanaratastataha Gopika stavanase hire hare Kananopagatimapyaharmukhe.
Nirgate bhavati datta drishtayaha. That is, that is there, remove it, put a visarga and a comma. Drishtayaha. Tvad gathena manasa mrigekshanaha. Venu nadam upakarnya, or nadam upakarnya together. Venu nadam upakarnya dhurataha, comma. That is there. Remove that is and put a comma, visarga and a comma, dhurataha, comma. Tvat vilasa kathayabhiremire. Kathayabhiremire. So here, mrigekshana means mrigekshana referring to the people who have eyes like deer, right? So the gopikas in this case. So they're saying they used to, even Krishna used to walk out to go to the forest. They used to keep looking at him till the point they can no longer see him. And even after, when he used to be out of sight, right? They still used to be in his minds. And then eventually when he used to the Venu Nadam, when they hear the sound of flute music playing from Krishna, when they can upakarnya, when they heard it, they then used to feel happy about it and keep talking about it all through their day. I'm not going to tell music for, explanation for every stanzas, but some stanzas here are relevant for today. Nirgathe bhavati datta dhrishtayaha Twadgathe namanasa mrigekshanaha Venunadamupakarnya dhurataha Twadvihasa katayabhiremire.
Nirgate bhavati datta drishtayah Twadgatena manasa mrigekshanaha Venunadamupakarnya dhurataha Twadvilasa katayabhiremire. Nirgate bhavati datta drishtayah Twadgatena manasa mrigekshanaha Venunadamupakarnya dhurataha Twadvilasa katayabhiremire.
Nirgate bhavati datta drishtayah Twadgatena manasa mrigekshanaha Venunadamupakarnya dhurataha Twadvilasa kathayabhiremire. Nirgate bhavati datta drishtayah Twadgatena manasa mrigekshanaha Venunadamupakarnya dhurataha Twadvilasa kathayabhiremire.
Kananantam itavan bhavanapi, comma, snigdha padapa tale manorame, vyatyaya kalita padam astitaha or padam astitaha, comma, pratyapurayata venu nalikam. So we all seen that picture, right, where Krishna is standing under the tree with the feet crossed, holding the flute. That's a very famous picture of Krishna. So here it's telling that when you used to go to the forest, you used to stand cross-legged under the tree. It is describing, right, holding the flute. But remember, at this point, he was only 7 or 8 years, right? So I was just thinking, and the pictures all depict him as like Krishna as a full-blown man, right? Or a person who's actually doing that. But at 11 years, he went off to Mathura to kill Kamsa and never came back to Gokulam or Vrindavan, right? So this actually is talking that he was him standing like that under the tree is not somebody decided to just draw it that way, right? It is taken from Bhagavatam, and Bhattacharya is also saying that Krishna used to stand like that. But the only thing is he was 7 years old or 8 years old when he did that, and not a full-blown man, like they show in the pictures, right, in the images. So Kananantamitavan bhavanapi snigdhapadapatale manorame vyatyaya kalitapadamastitaha pratyapurayata venunalikam.
Kananantamitavan bhavanapi. Sorry, Kananantamitavan bhavanapi snigdhapadapatale manorame vyatyaya kalitapadamastitaha pratyapurayata venunalikam. Kananantamitavan bhavanapi snigdhapadapatale manorame vyatyaya kalitapadamastitaha pratyapurayata venunalikam.
Kananantamitavan bhavanapi snigdhapadapatale manorame vyatyaya kalitapadamastitaha pratyapurayata venunalikam. Kananantamitavan bhavanapi snigdhapadapatale manorame vyatyaya kalitapadamastitaha pratyapurayata venunalikam.
Mara bhana dhuta khechari kulam, comma, nirvikara pashu pakshi mandalam dravanam cha drishadham api prabho, comma, tavakam vyajani venu kujitam. I think this is self pashu pakshi, all the birds, animals, they also enjoyed. That's what they're saying here. Marabhana duta khechari kulam nirvikara pashu pakshi mandalam dravanam cha drishadhamapi prabho tavakam vyajani venu kujitam.
Marabhana duta khechari kulam nirvikara pashu pakshi mandalam dravanam cha drishadhamapi prabhu dravanam cha drishadhamapi prabhu tavakam yajani venu kujitam. Marabhana duta khechari kulam nirvikara pashu pakshi mandalam dravanam cha drishadhamapi prabhu tavakam yajani venu kujitam.
Marabhana dhuta khechari kulam nirvikara pashu pakshi mandalam dravanam cha drishadhamapi prabho tavakam vyajani venu kujitam. Marabhana dhuta khechari kulam nirvikara pashu pakshi mandalam dravanam cha drishadhamapi prabho tavakam vyajani venu kujitam.
Venu randhra taralanguli, tarala anguli, so taralanguli dalam, comma, tala sanchalita pada pallavam tat stitam tava paroksham apyaho, comma, samvichintya muhuhur brajanganaha. Venurandrataralanguleedhalam Talasanchalita pada pallavam Tatstitam tava parokshamapyaho Samvichintya muhuhur brajanganaha.
What is the second? Tat is what is the other word?
Tat stitam, standing there. Tat stitam.
Tat stitam.
Yeah.
Oh, inga vera.
The last, what's the last word?
Yeah.
Same one I'm asking. Mumuhuram.
Yeah, mumuhur.
Okay.
But do you have mumuhuhu?
நீங்க சொல்றச்ச வேற ஏதோ சொன்ன மாதிரி காதுல விழுந்தது.
முஹுர்ஹுர்னு ஏதோ சொன்னேன்.
Sorry. Samvichintya mumuhur brajanganaha.
Thank you.
Okay. Tat stitam, right? Okay. I mean, எனக்கு no money to it. Okay. Venurandra tarala angulidalam tala sanchalita pada pallavam tatstitam tava paroksham apyaho samvichintya mumuhur brajanganaha.
Satya, on the first line, you don't have to break it. Tarala anguli, say tarala anguli, it becomes one word.
Oh, okay. Venurandra taralangulidalam Tala sanchalita pada pallavam tatstitam tava paroksham apyaho samvichintya mumuhur brajanganaha.
Venurandrataralangulidalam tala sanchalita pada pallavam tatstitam tava paroksham apyaho samvichintya mumuhur brajanganaha. Venurandrataralangulidalam tala sanchalita pada pallavam tatstitam tava parokshamapyaho samvichintya mumuhur brajanganaha.
Nirvi shanka bhavadanga darshinihi, comma, kecharihi. So put the ich sound. Kecharih khaga mrigan pashunapi twat pada pranayi kananam cha taha, comma, dhanyamiti nanvamanayan. So like I was telling earlier, right, and when you're talking about Uma in the part, so in the here, so Gopikas are saying that anybody who is coming in contact with Krishna, whether it be his flute or it be the animals or even the grass of Vrindavan, are so blessed because so fortunate. Dhanyamiti. They're indeed fortunate that they are actually coming in contact with it, right? So I found this. I'm going to say the stanza from Bhagavatam because it reminded me of the song, right? So let me just put that 1 second. So I'll just read from my screen here. So Gopya kimacharadayam kushalam smavenuhu damodara dharasudam api gopikanam bhungte swayam yadavashistarasam khradinyo krishyatvacho shrumumuchus taravo yatharyaha. So they're saying, the Gopikas are discussing that because Krishna is actually playing the flute on the bamboo flute, the forefathers of the flute, that is the parents or the father side of the flute, which are actually referring to the bamboo trees itself, right? The bamboo trees is where the flute is coming from, saying they must be shedding tears of happiness because that their generation later on was able to form the flute which Krishna is then playing, right? And then the mother of the flute, and this we are talking about the Narmada river, because the river is giving rise to the trees, which then give rise to the wood. So saying the mother of the flute, even that is also extremely happy that the lotuses are forming in there because on the river because of that, and because of that the lotuses are forming. So I was just thinking on the first line that when we were saying Uma's song, right? So in the Mugil Gale, right, the bamboos which made the flute, right? You sing the tune of Krishna. It was coming. And the same thing, the next stanza in Bhagavatam talks about the Vrindavanam itself, saying the grass of Vrindavanam where Krishna is walking is so fortunate to be born there, right? And Priya and Savita, we discussed it today morning also, right? That's what even they keep talking about. So that was coming back to back in stanza in Bhagavatam. So I was saying that because in the song line it's all taken from the various scriptures, right? Or song they have taken various things and made it into a song, right? The said before, the song, the lines itself are not original, the tune and some other things are original, there. Anyway, so here that's what is also happening. So Nirvishanka bhavadanga darshinihi kechari khagamrigan pashunapi tvatpada pranayikananam chataha dhanya dhanyamiti nanvamanayan.
Nirvishanka bhavadanga darshinihi kechari khagamrigan pashunapi. Napiya.
Napi, Pashun api. It's Pashun api, short p.
Pashun, okay. Nirvishanka bhavadanga darshinihi kechari kagamragan pashunapi tvatpada pranayikananam chataha.
Pranayi. You said Pranayi, it's Pranayi.
Tvatpada pranayikananam chataha Danya Danyamiti Nanvamanayan Nirvishanka Bhavadanga Darshinihi Kechari Kagamragan Pashunapi Tvatpada Pranayikananam Chataha Danya Danyamiti Nanvamanayan.
Nirvishanka Bhavadanga Darshinihi Kechari Kagamragan Pashunapi Tvatpada pranayikananam chataha dhanya dhanyamiti nanvamanayan Nirvishankha bhavadanga darshinihi khechari khagamrigan pashunapi Tvatpada pranayikananam chataha dhanya dhanyamiti nanvamanayan.
Api bheyam adharamritam. If you want to break it at that ma. Api bheyam adharamritam kada, comma, venu bhukta rasa shesham ekada together. Durato bata kritam durashayet yakula. We can say it together, so you can put a plus there. So durato bata kritam durashayet yakula muhurimaha is there, so put a is there. Muhurimas samamuhan. In case any of your books have it as durashayeti akula, they just split it, but we can just make it together. So you can just change it to durashayet yakula.
Rajesh, in the first line la Venu muktava bhuktava.
Bhukta. Yeah, bhuktana.
Bhukta.
Yeah. Api bheyamadaramritam kadha venu bhukta rasasheshame kadha durato batakritam durashayet yakula muhurima sama muhan.
So Rajesh, there's no pause second line, right?
Yeah, second line is continuous. If it is broken into durashayeti akula, then there is a pause, but because we have kept it joined, there's no pause.
Okay. Api bheyamadaramritam kada venu bhukta rasasheshame kada durato batakritam durashayet yakula muhurima sama muhan. Muhan. Is that on Muhan?
When you're saying it, it will land up like that. Yeah.
Sama Muhan Api bheyamadaramritam kada Venu bhukta rasasheshame kada Durato batakritam durashayet yakula muhurima sama muhan.
Api bheyamadaramritam kada Venu bhukta rasasheshame kada Durato batakritam Durato batakritam durashayetyaakula muhurima samamuhan. Apibeyamadharamritam kada venu bhuktarasasheshame kada. Durato batakritam durashayetyaakula muhurima samamuhan.
Pratyaham cha punaritam. Punaritam or punaritam together. Anganaha. If you have that angana and an ish, right? Remove that ish and put a visarga and a comma. So punaritam anganaha, comma. Chitta yoni janitad anu. So chitta yoni, the next word, you can either break it into janitat anugrahat, are the two words. Janitat anugrahat, or you say it together, janitat anugrahat. That's also fine. Okay. Baddha raga bivashas tvai prabho, comma, nityam apuriha kritya mudhatam.
Rajesh, the janita and the word and the davatan matadama.
Then the that is there, you can break it into it and a. So it becomes janitat anugrahat. If you want to break it, otherwise you say it continuously, janitat anugrahat.
Okay, and the continuous achuna da varu, yeah.
Then da varu, ama.
Okay.
But if it's either way, you say it continuously, it will sound the same. It is just
okay.
If you, as long as you don't stop there, it will sound the same only.
Okay.
Pratyaham cha punaritamanganaha chittayo nijanitada nugrahat baddharaga bivashastvahi prabho nityama puriha kritya mudhatam.
Pratyaham cha punaritamanganaha chittayo nijanitadanugrahat baddharaga vibhashasvai prabho nityama puriha kritya mudhatam. Pratyaham cha punaritamanganaha chittayo nijanitadanugrahat baddharaga vibhashasvai prabho nityama puriha kritya mudhatam.
Pratyaham cha punaritthamanganaha chittayo nijanitadanugrahat baddharaga vivashastvai prabho nityama puriha kritya mudhatam. Pratyaham cha punaritthamanganaha chittayo nijanitadanugrahat baddharaga vivashastvai prabho nityama puriha kritya mudhatam.
So next stanza, 10th, the tune is different, okay? So first we will learn the break. So ragas tabaj jayate hi swabhavat. So put a it there, swabhavat, comma. If you have an in, the next line, remove that in off. So instead of that, swabhavat, comma, moksho payo yatnataha. So put a is there, yatnatas syan navasyat. Syan navasyat. Tasam tvekam tadvayam labdhamasit, comma, bhagyam pahimam marutesha. So here, Bhattarpad is telling, attachment to people or things comes very naturally to everybody. But he says, if you want to get liberated, they say you should not get attached to things, right? So, and that is a path to liberation. But this path to liberation, that's what the mokshopayo, the path that is to liberation, yatnata syanava says, it's easy or it may be hard, no matter whether you put the effort or not. For some, it may be easy, for some, it may be hard. But the attachment to something just comes naturally to everybody. So here he says, but now, how do you, the path to liberation comes through attachment to God. That's one way. You can get attached to God, then it gets you path to liberation. So he says the Gopikas are so fortunate because for them, both of this attachment to something and the path to liberation is the same thing for them. because they are directing their attachment towards God, towards a person. And so they're saying for them, it's much easy. What comes naturally, attachment to people, we can attach ourselves to people easily. And it is so naturally coming to them, and they're so fortunate that they are directing their attention or attachment to the right person, because of which they're very, very fortunate. That's why bhagyam, bhagyam. They're so fortunate indeed that they don't have to put extra effort to get into the path of liberation. But what is saying here? See, the tune is different here, right? Ragastava jayate his swabhavat mokshopayo yatna tasya navasyat tasam tvekam tadvayam labdhamasit bhagyam bhagyam pahi marutesha.
Rajesh, what is the last line? Pahi vatala yeshanthukku enakku vandu.
ஆமா பாஹி வாத்தால ஏஷன் இருக்கு.
Okay, it's the same thing. Ellarkum vatala yeshan, I'll change mine. That's fine.
No, ours says Pahi Mam Marutesha.
Yeah.
Whatever you.
Okay, so then whoever has Vatalesha, just change it to Marutesha. It's the same thing. It ultimately means a lot of Guruvayur only. In some places it's Vatalesha, some places Marutesha.
Okay, bhagyam bhagyam pahi apra enadhu?
Pahi
Mam, Pahi
mam
Mam.
Pahi mam
Marutesha. Marutesha.
marutesh. Okay. Enna tune idu?
Ragastava jayate.
Ragastava jayate hi swabhavat mokshopayo yatnatasya navasyat tasam tvekam tadvayam labdamasit bhagyam bhagyam pahi ma marutesha. Ragastava jayate hi swabhavat mokshopayo yatnatasya navasyat tasam tvekam tadvayam labdamasit bhagyam bhagyam pahi ma marutesha.
Ragastava jayate hi swabhavat mokshopayo yatna tasya navasyat tasam tvekam tadvayam labdhamasit bhagyam bhagyam pahi mam marutesha. Ragastava jayate hi swabhavat mokshopayo yatna tasya navasyat tasam tvekam tadvayam labdhamasit bhagyam bhagyam pahi mam marutesha.
Krishna.
ராஜேஷ் ஒரு குயிக் கொஸ்டின்.
Hmm.
சாரி, அது தத்வயமா தாசாம் த்வேகம்?
What do you have?
எனக்கு ரெண்டு இது இருக்கு.
Ama, see, அது என்னன்னாக்கா, the two words are tat and dvayam are the two words actually. Tat dvayam only. But sometimes because the the is coming, that they sometimes write it as tad dvayam. But the right word is tat dvayam and you write it separately. But the joint up போடுறதுனால they normally write it as tad dvayam. இது போட்டுடுறாங்க அந்த இடத்துல. But the just separate word is tat. That's the right word.
ஓகே, ஆனா இதுதான் வருது. என்ன துவயம்ல
because of that, because it's coming joint with the other word, it's becoming id. Otherwise it would have just been tat is the right word. Okay, so we'll go to 60. So Priya, Arun, can you be student? And Kashyap, can you be student? Okay, stanza 1. Madanathura cheta sonvaham together, comma, bhavadangri dvaya dasya kamyaya yamuna tata simni saikatin, comma, taralakshyo girijam samarchichan. Madanatura cheta sonvaham bhavadangri dvaya dasya kamyaya yamuna tata simni saikatin taralakshyo girijam samarchichan.
Madanatura chetasonvaham bhavadangridvayadasya kamyaya yamuna tatasimni saikatim taralakshyo girijam samarchichan.
Taralakshyo, last taralakshyo.
Oh, okay. Madanatura chetasonvaham भवदङ्घ्रिद्वयदासकाम्यया यमुना तटसीं निसैकतीं तरलाक्ष्यो गिरिजां समार्चिचन्.
Priya, second time when you said Dasakamya, Dasya. First time you said correct, okay.
मदनातुरचेतसोन्वहं भवदङ्घ्रिद्वयदास्य काम्यया यमुनातटसीं निसैकतीं तरलाक्ष्यो गिरिजां समार्चिचन्. मदनातुरचेतसोन्वहं भवदङ्घ्रिद्वयदास्य काम्यया यमुनातटसीं निसैकतीं तरलाक्ष्यो गिरिजां समार्चिचन्.
Tava Nama Katha Rataha is there, so put a is there, Ratas Samam, comma, Sudrishaha is there, so put a if to join, Sudrisha Pratar Upagata, if you want to break it, or Pratar Upagata together, Nadim, Upahara Shataira Pujayan. Again, if you want to break it, you can say Shatair Apujayan, or you can say Shataira Pujayan together, comma, Daito Nandasuto Bhavediti. Tavanama Katarata Samham Sudrushah Pratarupagata Nadhim Upahara Shataira Pujayan Daito Nandasuto Bhavediti.
तव नाम कथारता समं सुदृशः
प्रातर उपागता
सुदृशः प्रातरुपागता नदीम् उपहार शतैरपूजयन् दयितो नन्दसुतो भवेदिति. तव नाम कथारता समं सुदृशः प्रातरुपागता नदीम् उपहार शतैरपूजयन् दयितो नन्दसुतो भवेदिति.
And the Bhavediti ending is a short T. Bhavediti.
Bhavediti.
Rajesh, one quick question. Second line la and the upagata kapra visarga irka. ரெண்டு புக்லயும் விசர்கா போட்டிருக்கீங்க.
ஜெனரலா அந்த நக்கு முன்னாடி இருக்காது. அப்படி இருந்ததுனால there's no joining letter. So
delete பண்ணிடலாமா அத?
Yeah, you can remove that off. On its standalone upagataha will be there, but when it's coming in front of na ma ala irundha generally it doesn't come.
Okay, thank you.
तव नाम कथारता समं सुदृशः प्रातरुपागता नदीम् उपहार शतैरपूजयन् दयितो नन्दसुतो भवेदिति. तव नाम कथारता समं सुदृशः प्रातरुपागता नदीम् उपहार शतैरपूजयन् दयितो नन्दसुतो भवेदिति.
Iti Masam Upahita or Masam Upahita Vrataha. That is there. Remove it, put a visarga and a comma. Vrataha. Next word, if you want to break it, you can break it. Taralakshir Abhivikshya. If you want to break it, or you say Taralakshir Abhivikshya together. Tha Bhavan. Karuna Mridulo Nadi Tatam, comma. The next word, there are a couple of, it's difficult to say it exactly like the way it is. So I'll tell you how to break it and you use whatever is comfortable. Samayasit tat anugrahechaya. 3 words. Samayasit tat anugrahechaya are the 3 words. Right? But adu samayasi thadanugrahechaya. If you can say it together, say it that way. Or if you want to break it, feel free to break it that into samayasi tat anugrahechaya. Itima samupahita vrataha taralakshira vivikshata bhavan karuna mrudulo nadhi tatam samayasi tadanugrahechaya.
इति मासमुपाहितव्रताः तरलाक्षीरविवीक्ष्यता भवान् करुणामृदुलो नदीतटं समयासीत् तद् ग्रहेच्छया समयासीत् तत् अनु எப்படி சொல்லணும் வர மாட்டேங்குது
அத நீங்க வந்து சமயா சீத், right? You can say tadanu grahe. If you want to say, if you can say it that way, tadanu grahe chaya.
Sorry. समयासीत् तदनुग्रहेच्छया.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. इति मासमुपाहितव्रताः तरलाक्षीरविवीक्ष्यता भवान् करुणामृदुलो नदीतटं समयासीत् तदनुग्रहेच्छया.
इमा समुपाहितव्रता व्रताः तरलाक्षीरविवीक्ष्यता भवान् करुणामृदुलो नदीतटं समयासीत् तदनुग्रहेच्छया. इति मा समुपाहितव्रताः तरलाक्षीरविवीक्ष्यता भवान् करुणामृदुलो नदीतटं समयासीत् तदनुग्रहेच्छया.
नियमा बसितौ निजाम्भरं कॉमा तट सीमन्यवमुच्य. Other you can't break it, so सीमन्यवमुच्य तास तदा यमुना जल खेलनाकुलाः कॉमा पुरतस् त्वाम अवलोक्य और त्वाम अवलोक्य लज्जिताः. नियमा बसितौ निजाम्भरं तटसीमन्यवमुच्यतास्तदा यमुना जलखेलनाकुलाः पुरतस्त्वामवलोक्य लज्जिताः.
नियमावसितौ निजाम्भरं तटसीमन्यवमुच्यतास्तदा यमुना जलकेलनाकुलाः पुरतस्त्वामवलोक्य लज्जिताः. नियमावसितौ निजाम्भरं तटसीमन्यवमुच्यतास्तदा यमुना जलकेलनाकुलाः पुरतस्त्वामवलोक्य लज्जिताः.
नियमावसितौ निजाम्बरं तटसीमन्यवमुच्यतास्तदा यमुना जलकेलनाकुलाः पुरतस्त्वामवलोक्य लज्जिता. नियमावसितौ निजाम्बरं तटसीमन्यवमुच्यतास्तदा यमुना जलकेलनाकुलाः पुरतस्त्वामवलोक्य लज्जिता.
लज्जिताः. Trapaya namitana naswatho. You can't break it anywhere. So namitana naswatho, comma vanita swambhara jalam antike or jalamantike nihitam parigrihya bhuruho, comma bitapam tvam tharasadhi rudhavan. Trapaya namitanaswatho vanita swambharajalamantike nihitam parigrihya bhuruho bitapam tvam tarasadhi rudhavan.
Rajesh, did you say vitapama, vitapamma?
Bitapam.
Oh.
Trapaya namitanaswato vanita swambharajalamantike nihitam parigrihya bhuruho vitapam tvam tarasadi rudhavan. Trapaya namitanaswato vanita swambharajalamantike निहितं परिगृह्य भूरुहो विटपं त्वं तरसाधिरूढवान्
कृपया नमिताननास्वतो वनिता स्वंवरजालमन्तिके निहितं परिगृह्य भूरुहो विटपं त्वं तरसादिरूढवान् कृपया नमिताननास्वतो वनिता स्वंवरजालमन्तिके निहितं परिगृह्य भूरुहो विटपं त्वं तरसादिरूढवान्
इह तावदुपेत्य नीयतां comma vasanam baha, so put a is there, vasanam vas sudrusho yatha yatham iti narma mridu smithe tvoi short e comma bhruvati vyamumuhe badhu janaihi इह तावदुपेत्य नीयतां वसनं वस्सुदृशो यथा यथम् इति नर्म मृदुस्मिते त्वहि ब्रुवति व्यामुमुहे वधूजनैः
इह तावदुपेत्य नीयतां वसनं वस्सुदृशो यथायथम् इति नर्म मृदुस्मिते त्वयि ब्रुवति व्यामुमुहे वधूजनैः इह तावदुपेत्य नीयतां वसनं वस्सुदृशो यथायथम् इति नर्म मृदुस्मिते त्वयि ब्रुवति व्यामुमुहे वधूजनैः
इह तावदुपेत्य नीयतां वसनं वस्सुदृशो यथायथम् इति नर्म मृदुस्मिते त्वयि ब्रुवति व्यामुमुहे वधूजनैः
Kashyap, Bruvati, when you say Bruvati, let's take it down a little bit. So Bruvati vyamumuhe, then you won't stretch it.
Okay. इह तावदुपेत्य नीयतां वसनं वस्सुदृशो यथायथम् इति नर्म मृदुस्मिते त्वयि ब्रुवति व्यामुमुहे वधूजनैः
I jiva chiram kishora nas, then put a plus. Or if you have naha, then put a is to join it. Otherwise, most books have nas. So nas plus tava dasira vashi ki karoshi kim. Dasira vashi karoshi kim. So continuous there. Pradi shambharam ambuje. So that even that line is going to be together. So prati shambharam ambujeksha netyut. I'm trying to see how to help you break it, but I think that's going to be a little bit hard. So I don't know in your book, Priya, if it has ambujeksha nethi uditas, okay, then again you will have to see if you can join it, right? So it becomes ambujeksha net yuditam. So net you. Ambujeksha net you. Okay, so pratishambharam ambujekshanet yuditas tvam smitam eva dhattavan. So unfortunately on the word you cannot break it further unless you break it like the way it is given in that book. So Ayi jiva chiram kishoranastavathasiravashi Pratishambaram ambujekshanet yugatistvam smitameva dhattavan.
अयि जीवचिरं किशोरनस्तवदासीरवशीकरोषि किं प्रदिशाम्भरमम्बुजेक्षणे उदितस्त्वं स्मितमेव दत्तवान्
Yuditas and the ambujekshanet you. Why you? Yuditas.
युदित अयि जीवचिरं किशोरनस्तवदासीरवशीकरोषि किं प्रदिशाम्बरमम्बुजे क्षणे युदितस्त्वं स्मितमेव दत्तवान्.
One second, sir. अयि जीव चिरं किशोरनस्तव दासीरवशीकरोषि किं प्रदिशाम्बरमम्बुजे क्षणेत्युतिदस्त्वं स्मितमेव दत्तवान् अयि जीव चिरं किशोरनस्तव दासीरवशीकरोषि किं प्रदिशाम्बरमम्बुजे क्षणेत्युदितस्त्वं स्मितमेव दत्तवान्
Adiruhya tatam kritanjalihi, comma, parishuddhaha. If you have it, put a is there. Parishuddhas swagatir nirikshya taha. So next word also, it's 3 words, but you cannot break it. It's vasanani akilani anugraham. 3 words, but all joined together. So you have to say it the way it is, which is vasananyakilanyanugraham. So I don't know if anybody's book has it broken down into 3 that you have to join, or Priyanka book it's joined only, or
Ella join.
okay, that's fine. So vasananyakilanyanugraham, comma, punarevam giramapyada muda. But I'm just breaking it down so in case you want some context clues of vasanani, akhilani, anugraham are the 3 words in there. Adiruhyata tankritanjalihi parishuddha swagatir nirikshataha vasananyakilanyanugraham punarevam giramapyadhamudha.
अधिरुह्य तटं कृताञ्जलिः परिशुद्धा स्वगतिर्निरीक्ष्यताः वसनान्यखिलान्यनुग्रहं पुनरेवं गिरमप्यदामुधा अधिरुह्य तटं कृताञ्जलिः परिशुद्धा स्वगतिर्निरीक्ष्यताः वसनान्यखिलान्यनुग्रहं पुनरेवं गिरमप्यदामुधा
अधिरुह्यत तं कृताञ्जलिः परिशुद्धा स्वगतिः निरीक्ष्यताः वसनान्यखिलान्यनुग्रहं पुनरेवं गिरमप्यदामुदा अधिरुह्यत तं कृताञ्जलिः परिशुद्धा स्वगतिर्निरीक्ष्यताः वसनान्यखिलान्यनुग्रहं पुनरेवं गिरमप्यदामुदा.
Kashyap, in the first line, second part, parishuddhas swagatir, long T, swagatir. Okay, you said swagatir. I didn't get to that. Okay. Viditam nanu vo manishitam, comma, vaditarastviha yogyam uttaram yamuna puline sachandrikaha kshanada itya balas twamuchivan.
Rajesh, can you say the second line again?
Yamuna puline sachandrikaha.
And it is such
Chandrikaha.
Sa Chandrikaha va?
Yeah.
Sa Chandrikaha.
Okay. Chandrikaha, comma.
Okay.
Kshanada itya balas twamuchivan.
Okay, thanks.
So what do you have?
But I thought like sa kapra thirupi sach irkonchu. So sa Chandrikaha.
Sa Chandrikaha. Viditam nanuvo manishitam vaditarastviha yogyamuttaram yamuna puline sachandrikaha kshanada itya balastomuchivan.
विदितं ननु वो मनीषितं वदितारस्त्विह योगमुत्तरम्
Yogyam.
वदितारस्त्विह योग्यमुत्तरम् यमुना पुलिने स चन्द्रिकाः क्षणदा इत्यबलास्त्वमूचिवान् विदितं ननु वो मनीषितम् वदितारस्त्विह योग्यमुत्तरम् यमुना पुलिने स चन्द्रिकाः क्षणदा इत्यबलास्त्वमूचिवान्
विदितं ननु वो मनीषितं वदितारस्थित्वा
Vaditarastviha.
वदितारस्त्विह योग्यमुत्तरं यमुना पुलिने स चन्द्रिका क्षणदा इत्यबलास्त्वमूचिवान्
Kashabandalai. Yamuna puline sachandrikaha.
Okay. विदितं ननु वो मनीषितं वदितारस्त्विह योग्यमुत्तरं यमुना पुलिने स चन्द्रिकाः क्षणदा इत्यबलास्त्वमूचिवान्
Upakarnya bhavan mukachyutam madhu nishyandi vacho mrigi drishaha pranayadhai vikshya te badanabjam shanakair griham gataha. Upakarnya bhavan mukachyutam madhunishyandi vacho mrigidrishaha pranayadai vikshate vadanabjam shanakair griham gataha.
उपकर्ण्य भवन्मुखच्युतं मधुनिष्यन्ति वचो मृगीदृशः प्रणयाधैवीक्ष्यते वदनाब्जं शनकैर्गृहं गताः उपकर्ण्य भवन्मुखच्युतं मधुनिष्यन्ति वचो मृगीदृशः प्रणयाधैवीक्ष्यते वदनाब्जं शन right vadana
Shanakair.
shana okay vadanabjam shanakairgriham gataha
उपकर्ण्य भवन्मुखच्युतं मधुनिष्यन्ति वचो मृगीदृश प्रणयादैवीक्ष्यते वदनाब्जं शनकैर्गृहं गताः उपकर्ण्य भवन्मुखच्युतं मधुनिष्यन्ति वचो मृगीदृशः प्रणयादैवीक्ष्यते वदनाब्जं शनकैर्गृहं गताः
Iti nanvanugrihya vallavihi. So on top of that next to V, if you have a ir, remove that, put a visarga and a comma, vallavihi. So next word is bipinan teshu pureva sancharan. Karuna shishiro hare hara twaraya, and put a plus after hare hara. Twaraya me Sakala Maya Balim together. Sakala Maya Balim. So that second line is continuous. Itinan vanugrihya vallavihi vipinanteshu pureva sancharan karuna shishiro hare haratvarayame sakala maya balim.
Itinan vanugruhya vallavehe विपिनान्तेषु पुरेव सञ्चरन् करुणाशिशिरो हरे हरत्वरया मे सकलामयावलिम्
அந்த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் லைன் வல்லவீஹி தானே
Amma. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, vallavihi. And this is visarga there at the end of that line. End of that word.
Itinan vanugrihya vallavihi विपिनान्तेषु पुरेव सञ्चरन् करुणाशिशिरो हरे हरत्वरया मे सकलामयावलिम्
उत्तिनन्वनुगृह्य वल्लवीः विपिनान्तेषु पुरेव सञ्चरन् करुणाशिशिरो हरे हरत्वरया मे सकलामयावलिम् इति नन्वनुगृह्य वल्लवीः विपिनान्तेषु पुरेव सञ्चरन् करुणाशिशिरो हरे त्वरया मे सकलामयावलिम्.
Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. We finished pretty early today, which is okay. I don't want to go more than 2 chapters in a day. Practice so we'll stop it here today. Om Sandhanandhavabodhatmakamanupamitam Kaladeshavadebhyam Nirmuktam Nityamuktam Nigamashatasahasrena Nirbhasyamanam Aspashtam Drishtamatre Punarurupurushartatmakam Brahmatattvam Tattavat Bhadi Sakshad Guru Pavanapure Hanta Bhagyam Jananam Kahena vacha manasendriyerva buddhyatmana va prakrite swabhavat karomi yatyat sakalam parasmai narayanahi samarpayami.